Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, today's video thought comes while I'm standing in front of this willow tree. This thing is massive. It is so old and huge. Look at that thing. Massive willow tree. And I'm standing in front of it thinking about all of the history that's gone on while that tree's been there. It's got to be massive. In fact, the very house where the tree is associated with, I know goes back truly hundreds of years. And so you've got this massive tree. And it's especially pertinent to me because I got an email on Video Thoughts for the Day from a buddy of mine in the Midwest. And the email says to me, he says, I'm totally sold out to my faith. I love God. I want to pursue God. But sometimes I struggle with regrets. Regrets for the part of my life where I wasn't living for God. Regrets over mistakes that I've made. And all of us struggle with regrets. Heavens, the regrets that I have, the mistakes and the errors and the things I've done wrong in my life are so long that they would outnumber the leaves on that willow tree. But I'm encouraged by something Paul wrote to the Philippians in chapter 3 of his letter we call Philippians. Paul said, forgetting what lies behind, I press on toward the goal of the prize of the upward calling of Christ, of God. Think about this for a moment. Paul says what we should be doing is not living with regrets. Oh, we learn from mistakes, we learn from regrets, but then we can burn the bridge. We don't need to cross it back and forth. We don't have to continually go back into regret land and let those regrets define who we are now, because who we are now is different than who we were before. We live in an era where, in a time in life where God's working in us to change us, to transform us. People who follow the Lord aren't doing it just to be the same as they used to be. And so the regrets that many people have are not regrets that should define who we are today. In fact, they're regrets that we need to forget about. As Paul says, forgetting what lies behind. And Paul is talking about not just regrets of things that he did wrong. Paul's even talking about regrets of his own self-righteousness, his own attitude, how he thought that he was something special beyond what he was, his pride, his arrogance of life. And Paul says, I want to forget everything that lies behind me. And I want to press on because there is something that God promises us. He promises us a future. And the goal of that future is not one that's weighed down by the past. Think about somebody who's going to run a race. I was playing one of my buddies in racquetball one time, and I thought it'd be so good for me if I wore a weight vest while I played racquetball. Well, that was just one of the stupidest things I ever could have done. Not only did it slow me up and make me inefficient, but I didn't have the agility that I needed. I didn't have the balance that I needed. And when we live with regrets, we live weighed down in ways that will affect our ability to live, perform, and achieve today. So I want you to take those regrets that you've got in life, and having learned lessons from your mistakes, put them away. Let God take them. Deliver them up to God. Say, God, these regrets I've got, I confess. I was wrong. I've made mistakes. I repent. I don't want to be that way. But then take them away from me. Remove them from me. Don't live looking backwards. If you've got any doubts at all about that, read what happened to Lot's wife. Don't live looking backwards. Live looking forwards, what God's going to do through you today, not where you failed yesterday. Got it? No regrets. That's your video thought for the day.